Next, we'll have welcome remarks from Ambassador Carlos González Gutiérrez, Consul General of Mexico in Los Angeles.
Muchas gracias, Fernando, y muchas gracias a todos ustedes por acompañarnos. My name again is Carlos González Gutiérrez. I am the Consul General of Mexico in Los Angeles, and I'm very grateful to la AEM, Fernando, Juan Carlos for their kind invitation to be part of this ceremony, this whole seminar, the invitation to the consulate for participating in the organization of such an important event. I'm also grateful with Maria and the Chamber for being partner of us in this seminar. And I'm grateful to Kurt and to all our friends from Baja California who came to support this and to promote greater integration between Los Angeles and the Cali-Baja region. I have known many of you for several years. I see Jeff Penichet, who I met 30 plus years ago when I arrived first time to Los Angeles to study at USC and then to serve in my first tour of duty at the Mexican consulate in LA. And I arrived in November of '89 to the consulate. And back then, one of the very first tasks that I had as the first consul for community affairs that the consulate had was to promote the idea of signing an agreement between the U.S., Mexico, and Canada. We organized events in which the founding fathers of NAFTA, like Herminio Blanco, Jaime Serra, came to events like this in order to promote NAFTA. Back then, I remember very well, and I'm sure you all remember as well, the president was George W. Bush, and the Republican Party has two basic tenets. One, immigration in the end is good for the country that receives the immigrants. And two, free trade is always good. Those basic tenets, as we discussed last night, are long gone. The candidate that won the elections 3 weeks ago represents the spectrum, the part of the political spectrum in this country that doesn't believe anymore that free trade is necessarily good or that immigration in the long term benefits the US. And that is, on the one hand, a huge challenge for people like us who are here because we simply put, we need to change our chip. Things have changed and we need to start doing things differently because on the Republican Party as well as in the Democratic Party, as it was discussed yesterday during Javier's and Duncan Wood's panel discussion, or fireside conversation as they call it. As it was evident then, both Democrats and Republicans have strong protectionist inclinations, isolationist inclinations that we need to recognize and act upon. But it's also an opportunity because things have greatly changed in these 30 plus years that separates my first tour of duty in LA from my second tour of duty. Now we have very powerful friends, such as Maria Salinas, heading the Chamber of Commerce. Back then, who could imagine that a Mexican-American woman would be heading the LA Chamber of Commerce? And just mention Maria as an example, but there are literally hundreds of Latino elected officials at the local and state level in California that are very, very good friends of Mexico, to a great extent because their families come from Mexico, and they have a better understanding of us. Things have changed because now we are the #1 trading partner of the United States with $800 billion trade, and we are #1 export market of California. We have now, and I don't have to tell you, you know this even, better than me, we have now a common, a shared production platform with the United States that make us unique if compared with other countries. So now we have assets that we did not have 30 years ago. And just as it is challenging to change our chip, it is also an immense opportunity to take into our hands the responsibility of advocating and defending and protecting these assets that we have created during the last 3, almost 4 decades. We can do it by being very determined, by being very proactive, by not asking our friends in the United States to read between lines, but being very clear, and by working as we are doing now together in an organized way. So I hope that what this meeting represents in terms of a gathering of people who believe, obviously, in free trade and in immigration, I want to think, people who believe that North America has a future as long as it's integrated between the 3 countries. I hope that this gathering of believers translates into an active, into a proactive campaign to defend the USMCA, to defend the free trade agreement, to defend the integration between California and Mexico.